Hey, welcome to the 1000 Comics Podcast. This is your host, Matt Heath. And this is the show that is pretty much just drawn together. 1000 Comics Podcast. I'm glad you're listening, folks. It's been a little while since our last episode. What's new? What's new with you guys? Nothing? I don't know. Anyways, I don't know. I just want to talk about something that's been bugging me real quick. My fiance's been nagging me, and as you might already know, the recording studio of my podcast is located in the sunroom of my house. Beautiful room in the house, and you can see pretty much the entire back lawn. And I take pride in my work of how I mow my lawn. I'm like Hank Hill. Oh, why do drugs when you could just have a freshly cut lawn? The smell of a freshly cut. I just love mowing my lawn, man. It's nice. But me and my fiance seem to be like disputing where the property line is between me and my neighbor's house. It's like she wants me to be mowing like behind their friggin' driveway, which I'm not like too thrilled about because it's their yard. I'm pretty sure. Okay, it might be our yard. It might be a little bit our yard, but like, okay. So here's my thing with the property line. I know exactly where the property line is if they mowed their friggin' lawn like once. All they would have to do is mow their lawn in the back one friggin' time this season. Here it is, June 2nd, 3rd, whatever it is. They haven't mowed their lawn. It's summertime. It is now summertime. They haven't mowed their back lawn once. So what difference does it make? Like, if you know, if I don't, I mow a little further every time into that side. Like, I guess if I haven't hit the property line yet, I get a little closer every time I do. So, and it's like my fiance is like, what if they complain to us that we're not. Well, why would they complain? They haven't mowed their lawn one friggin' time. It's like there's an entire. It's like my lawn is one like little garden of Eden among the rest of the friggin' forest. I'll say it, the fucking forest that is the rest of our neighborhood. My lawn looks good. All right. Okay. Anyways, enough Hank Hillen for you. I got a great guest on the show today, Mike Walsh. He's a great comedian, man. A great comedian. And he could put together a show, man. Yeah, you're gonna hear him on this podcast be a little bit modest about where he is in the scene, about how he does it just for fun, but he's a way ahead of the game of a lot of these other guys out here in Connecticut, man. He can host a show. He puts together his own shows. He he's an excellent booker. He's an excellent comic. He's funny. He's not going to be complimentary towards himself on this podcast, so I'm going to be complimentary about him right now. All right. What else did I want to talk to you guys about before we get into it? If you'd like to sponsor the show, if you'd like to write into the show, any questions, I'd like to get some fan mail. Send me hate mail. I don't care. Any mail. Send an email to matthewheath.saga@gmail.com. MATTHEWHEATH.SAGA@gmail.com. If you'd like to write into the show, if you'd like to sponsor the show, if you'd like to throw a few shekels my way, maybe I could start giving my guests some gas money. That'd be nice for them. Buy them a 6-pack of beer. They smoke maybe a pack of cigarettes. I don't know. If you'd like to buy my book, Amazon.com. Just type in the search bar Matt Heath. All 3 of my books will pop up. Renaissance Men, Scared Out of the Dickens, and Pawnbrokers. So if you'd like to buy one of my books, Amazon.com is the place to do so. Anything? Oof. All right. Let's do it. Let's get into the show. This is my guest, Mike Walsh.
Where has she gone?
All right, welcome to the 1000 Comics podcast. I'm sitting here with my guest, Mike Walsh.
Hello. How we doing, folks?
What's new, Mike?
Nothing new, man. Beautiful weekend, Memorial Day weekend here.
Yeah, I was actually planning on not having a guest on Memorial Day weekend because I thought all the comics would be busy and shit, but you didn't seem to be. You were like, Sunday?
No,
I'm good, yeah.
I'll do it. Whatever. A divorced guy of 2 teenage kids. I got nothing to do.
They got their own things.
Yeah. They don't want to hang out with me. I was supposed to go to a barbecue with one of them, and he texted me on the way here. He's like, "I'll see you later, Dad. I'm not going to a cookout." So.
Why did he not want to go to a cookout?
Because he probably wants to play a new game on his fucking computer there.
Computer or Xbox?
No, computer. Everybody switched from Xbox to all these gaming computers now.
The computers got more high-tech
abilities
it's faster,
now?
or?
I don't know. They all go online, and it's. I got one son in one bedroom, and across the hall it's the other son on his gaming computer.
Will they be playing the same game sometimes?
No, they'll be talking about, hey, I have friends. Where are your friends? New Jersey, Norway, all these friends that they've had for years that they meet up online and play games. And I'm like, that's not friends. I'm like, that's not friends.
They're not getting into the swatting thing, are they?
No.
I was listening to this podcast with they were talking about like these teenagers that they'll be like playing games and then they'll get into this thing where
that's not yet. I should do that on them. Maybe I'll do the reverse on them.
The reverse SWAT?
Yeah. You know what's funny? Even like
parental swatting?
Parental swatting, yeah. If they don't hang out with me, I'm swatting on you. So, I think 2 weeks ago, my 17-year-old brings his whole computer system from his mom's house. And then he has other guys show up with all these computers, and they go in my basement, and I'm like, okay, this is like War Games 3.
Right.
I'm like, they're going to be breaking into something, so I go downstairs, and I guess it was like the 10th year anniversary of Minecraft, so they all just had my basement set up like...
It couldn't be anything like more innocent. You're worried.
I'm like looking at porn, or what are you guys doing? What are you breaking into Google? What are we doing here? Amazon, you ordering stuff?
You're worried they're like hackers.
Minecraft.
But they're celebrating an anniversary.
Minecraft with Doritos, soda, and Dominoes. Yeah.
That's great, man. Well, at least they're not like into drugs and all that. They're just like really into video games.
Yeah, not yet. Drugs is next year when one's going off to college. So.
Right. That's when they start experimenting.
Yeah. I hope he just experienced with different nationalities of women, but not so much drugs. So. Yeah, hopefully that's my.
Was that your college experience, Mike? It was all different nationalities.
No, that's my experience now. So that's my experience now. Yep.
That was totally
I'm like United Colors of Benetton. Right?
That was totally my experience in college.
Oh, was it?
Because it's like when you're in high school, it's like you just date girls that are like from your same town. When you go off to college, you start to meet all these women that are like from different countries and stuff, you know?
Yeah, I thought it was back then exotic if I dated. I was dating a twin from Cape Cod, and I thought that was awesome back then, back in the day, and I just loved it because she had a beach house down at the Cape. So I'm like, this is I'm locking this one up. I'm like, this is it.
That reminds me a lot of a girl that I knew that had a beach house in Martha's Vineyard.
Yeah. Those are the keepers. Those are definitely the keepers.
Unfortunately, those are the ones that never want to keep you.
Yeah, no, they never do. After a while, they're like, okay, I'm done with you. You're below my my level, you know. So, yeah.
Yeah.
So what else you got going on this
weekend? This weekend I got nothing going on. Let's see. Tomorrow, Memorial Day. I don't know. I think I'm just gonna be watching the Yankees all weekend.
There you go. I'm a Red Sox fan, so we're going to have to end this interview. Okay? We're going to have to... No, so I'm trying to... You know, it's been raining every weekend for the last 7 years, so I decided yesterday I went hiking, as all us white people do, just go hiking. Like, there's a mountain, we go hiking, right? So I'm hiking up in Western Mass, and it's the Summit House on the top, and it's like breathtaking. It's beautiful, and me and a friend were taking the trail down, and there's a group in front of us. And I don't know if you get this now. There's this mass conspiracy of people having their phones and decide to just play music on the phones when they're walking. And this girl is playing from the new movie with Will Smith, the new Aladdin soundtrack, and we're in the middle of the forest. And I'm like, this is just strictly bullshit because, I'm waiting to see a bear or a deer or a skunk or anything, or just relax relax to the beautiful outdoors.
Right.
And I got Rhonda in front of me who's just listening to the Aladdin, so I'm like, I have to say something. And I'm like, and then the music stops, and I go, what happened, DJ? And she turns to me, and she's like, oh, yeah, I just saw the new Aladdin music. And her husband, who's holding the poodle, by the way, not walking with the poodle, but he's holding the poodle walking. And he's like, yeah, we saw it last night, and she can't get enough of it. And I'm like, oh, well, I had enough of it already. Please, I'm like, that's one of my pet peeves. If you're out in the community, you're trying to enjoy.
So that's your pet peeve, the people that listen to the music out loud on the phone.
No, I think the pet peeve is like people, if you're out enjoying
wilderness,
anything, you could be out at a park and then you have to listen to the crap next to you, to the people next to you, and they're just not aware that they're not in their own living room.
But I mean, that's not like a new thing. I mean, people at the park used to like bring boom boxes and stuff. Now now it's just easier for them.
I can understand if we're at the beach. Like, there's a certain part if you're going to the beach, you're like, okay, there's going to be somebody playing music, some idiot playing frisbee. There's going to be, the mom and dad bringing a whole cart with rubber wheels on it, and they're going to have 7 kids and set up a playpen on the beach and stuff. There's certain things you expect. But if you're on a nature hike and this woman's listening to Will Smith Aladdin, it kind of throws you off a little. So,
I actually agree with you. It's because I work at a pawn shop, and somebody just recently came in looking for. She's like, I go running. She's like, and I'm looking for like one of those Bluetooth speakers, and I'm like, to run? Wouldn't you rather have like a pair of headphones? Like,
yeah, that's what I don't get. It's like, why don't you just get a cop belt, and how the cops have to run with all that gear?
Yeah.
You think you're running, you want to actually carry like speakers,
But the speakers are so small that you could technically run with one, but like, why does everybody need to hear your music?
Yeah.
Why are you not just wear the headphones?
Maybe if she's gonna get dragged in the woods for a sexual assault or something, you just listen to the speakers. You'll find her before it's too late. I don't know. Maybe that's the new trend these days. I don't know.
I don't know, man. That's a good question.
I think it just started, that pet peeve started because I would see these people, employees in like Target, and everybody with the red shirt on.
Yeah.
And they're walking around like just stocking stuff, and they're listening to music.
Right.
On their phone, and I'm like, isn't that like a no-no? It's like, if you work there and you jam into the tunes, it's like, is that okay with management? I'm like, I just don't get that. It's like customer service. You got a little old lady in the grocery store, and she's listening to I don't know, who the hell is famous now these days with hip-hop and stuff. I can't say Kanye West. He's pretty outdated and stuff. But, you're hearing songs about bitches and switches and stuff, and then you got grandma buying some, like, Cheetos and stuff,
Well, there's a delivery driver that I work with that, I'm not going to mention what food delivery service this is.
Yeah.
That way,
Sounds.
It doesn't come back to me.
Is it Goober Eats? No,
no, it's an actual pizza place. So he leaves his stereo running in his car while he's inside. Like, it's like there's no telling how long it could be 2 minutes, it could be an hour.
Yeah.
But he'll leave his music blasting in his car. Well, it's like, dude, you're gonna kill your fucking battery for one thing. Like,
and nobody wants to. So not everybody wants. Maybe it's a great song, but nobody wants to hear all that crap. It's just maybe I'm just. This is what happens because I'm 46 now. Maybe this just happens once you hit a certain age. You start becoming like your grandfather or something, all crappy. And so remember back in my time. Yeah, it's just. I think it's just common courtesy these days that nobody really is aware of anymore. So, yeah.
You're right, Mike. So let's go back to when we met. Right? So we're going to talk about this on the podcast. I think it's an interesting story, right? Because you are mutual friends with, I think, one of the only comics I really know that's mutual friends with my fiance.
Right, and this story just about, I think, where you are in your life right now has years in the making, and what I mean by that is the place that your fiance and myself work at. Like when I had met her several years ago, I don't even remember now.
Are we allowed to say where that place is?
Let's keep that to ourselves, because that's where a lot of material comes from, right? But she had bugged me for a while. Like once she got to know me, so she had bugged me a while, saying, "Oh, you should do some stand up. You should do this." Like I've seen a lot of people, and I'm like, "No, that's just not me. I never thought about it and stuff. I'm pretty busy as it is and stuff." So. But she pushed and pushed for
so
years.
My fiance was the one that talked you into doing.
Listen, for years, so
stand-up.
much, yeah, for years, and then finally, I just I'm trying to recall when there was just like a WTF moment where I'm like, I always want to push myself, and I think people's biggest fear is just talking in front of an audience, talking in front of a group, and I think 10 times plus that is actually doing comedy in front of a group of a bunch of strangers and people that you don't know. It's different if you're hanging out with your friends and you guys are, you know each other and you're telling each other jokes, and everybody's always has that person to like, oh, you should meet my friend Jimmy. He's the funniest guy. But when you put that Jimmy in front of a crowd, is everybody going to laugh? Is everybody else going to think about that? So that's always, I think that's any comic for starting off for the first time.
Well, I think there's people that are like just straight up characters. They're naturally funny.
Yeah.
And it's like you'll have the best time and laugh your ass off when you're with them, like no matter what. But then it's like, could they actually be on stage and execute a joke properly? Like,
oh, definitely. And so I finally just said, I like to challenge myself. So a big challenge is, if you're fearful of something, don't run away from it. I think face it and stuff. So. Oh, excuse me. So, I finally said, okay, I'm going to do this and stuff. So,
and how many years ago was this when you decided to do it?
I think it was in 2016.
Okay, so that's not too long ago, but it's a little while, about like 3 years now.
Yeah, and I decided to...
that's my turtle.
Your turtle?
I just got that turtle, by the way. I found him.
He's doing push-ups or trying to climb a rock?
He's trying to climb the rock.
There
I
you
actually just changed his rock situation in there, actually just before you got here, because I had a plastic rock in there, and it wasn't big enough.
He's getting used to that rock now. Look at that.
Yeah.
But
I don't know. I would think maybe I should just let him go. Like, I feel like...
is he a local turtle? Or
yes.
He is?
We'll get back to what we were talking about, but I want to tell the turtle story real quick.
If anybody's missing a turtle, please call.
Listen, I'm driving to work. It's about 8 in the morning. I get to the intersection down on Windsor Avenue there, and I hit the brakes because I see this little turtle trying to cross the street.
Yeah.
And it looked like it was struggling, so I put it in the car with me. I kept it in a little, box at work, with some water and everything. And then I put it in this tank at home because, I don't know. It kind of grew on me that day.
Yeah, how long have you had it now?
About a week now.
Oh, okay. I don't even know what kind of turtle that is.
It's a red-eared slider.
Oh, you know, huh?
Yeah.
Well, it's got a tail on it, huh?
Yeah.
Wow.
But the thing, it's like the thing about keeping a reptile as a pet. It's like it's not like a dog or a cat where they're like naturally domesticated. It's like reptiles, you're kind of keeping them against their will. Yeah. You know what I mean?
And you can't use that excuse like, oh, I can't go out tonight. I got to walk my turtle.
Yeah.
Kind of, I got to let the turtle outside to go pee and stuff like your dog or cat. That's one reason why I don't get an animal because I'm not home enough. So.
All right,
so maybe a turtle.
So his name's Sheldon, and I guess he's gonna be the kind of the Max Weinberg now of the 1000 Comics podcast.
That's funny.
Just cut to him. He's just like looking.
He's just looking. He's looking up. He's like, how did I get here?
He really is like the Max Weinberg.
He's like, I just went for a stroll, and here I am. I'm locked up.
I bet that's how Conan O'Brien.
Yeah, the mother's still looking.
Just the story of how Max Weinberg ended up on Late Night with
Conan O'Brien. There you go.
Was very similar. He just saw him crossing the street.
And he said, I'll take him. Perfect timing.
And he goes, what am I doing in this tank?
Yeah. Oh, that's good.
Kept him for about 10 years and then let him go.
Yeah, let him go. Back on tour. Little Steven and everybody. No, just going back. So finally, I went online and Googled like open mic nights, and I found the place up in Northampton, Mass. Bishop's Corner. Yeah.
Bishop's Lounge.
Oh yeah, Bishop's Corner. I'm thinking Bishop's Corner in West Hartford.
I've met some really cool people up there, and I haven't been up there in a little while, but like the scene in Massachusetts is definitely different than Connecticut.
Definitely. But even more unique with there, you're going into Northampton, Massachusetts, which is a very high gay population, and you got the famous Smith College right nearby.
I've often equated Northampton to, and it's funny because I'm wearing a Robert Crumb t-shirt right now, like the Keep On Truckin' guy.
Yeah, yep.
I would say that Northampton, Massachusetts is like a 1970s Robert Crumb comic. It's like it never like left like this certain era. It's like all these hippies.
Oh yeah,
you know what I mean?
Yeah. It's if anybody has never been there, I always say go. I'm still amazed in the Hartford area. People have never heard of Northampton, Mass, but it's a phenomenal place. You know?
So that was your first time on stage? Was
I went. I think it was like maybe a Sunday night or something like that. And
who was running the mic? Do you remember?
No, I just remember some young guy. But I remember some of the comics that there was maybe 2 or 3 comics that I then saw, like that guy John Carlo. He was up there. And
John Carlo was
he was up there that night, and then there was
and we're me and Mike are both mad at you if you're listening, John Carlo, for not showing up to Mike's show the other day.
Yeah, real nice, buddy.
Yeah,
real
come
nice.
on.
We know you wanted to go see the Avengers again, so you're not supposed to go Thursday. Tuesday's the $5 night. So, so I did a set up there, and of course the first set sucks all the time, but you're just trying to get a feel and a vibe of how things are, but I think the only issue I had up there, and it's and you'll get this. You go to places and then it's 90% of the crowd is other comics and stuff. So, and then the people were. It's such a small. It's like a small room in general, and then if people are getting up and going outside to have smokes and stuff, it just kind of throws you off a little bit.
Right.
But I mean, but the first experience is kind of what I thought it would be. And you know what kind of material works and doesn't work, and from there on, I just started trying out at the Funny Bone in Manchester and stuff.
I think having a first experience like that though kind of sets you up for like at least like you realize the reality of comedy. It's like let's say you had your first experience was like a packed house.
Yeah.
Everybody's it's like a lot of people's first experiences like they'll bring like all their friends, they'll bring like 30 people with them, and it's like
I brought one.
So same with me. I brought one person just for the moral support. Let me know if I did good or bad because I don't know anybody there. But so a lot of people, they'll bring like 30 people with them. All their friends will laugh and everything, and it's like they'll like think that they're like this great
comic.
They
killed it, yeah. So,
but it's like no, it's just because you brought all those people. You know,
like look at him up on stage. He did it. That type of thing. Yeah. Where was your first?
Joker's Wild down in New Haven.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Is that still?
No, that's
gone,
they've been closed for a couple of years now. Yeah.
Oh wow! And how'd you do? How'd you like it? What was your experience?
You know what? Like back looking like when it was happening, I thought like, oh, what a great set. But I had taken video of my first set.
Oh, did you?
It's still online, and I can't get it down. Like I don't know what account it was put on.
Do you want it down? Do you want it down?
I've wanted it down at certain times because I know it's not like my best stuff. Obviously, I'm completely nervous.
Yeah.
But it's like, I guess it's kind of cool. I like my first time on stage.
Yeah.
I actually used it to, did you apply for, Last Comic Standing ever? Did you ever do that?
No.
I think if you want to, today's the last day to apply for that.
Oh, yeah?
At the
You put in for it? Yeah, you did? Oh, good.
But, so you got to send them, like, a video.
Okay.
And I was like, you know what? screw it. It's like
Just
I
send
don't
him
I
the
don't
first
care.
video.
I'll send him my first video doing stand up. Like, like what difference is it? I've already done this competition a couple times. Like I got a sense of humor about like
Yeah.
you know I know it's like I know like if it's like your first time doing it's like oh it's gonna be my best stuff. You know what I mean?
never,
It's like,
never.
nah, I'll just send him a video of my first time on stage.
Yeah. How long ago was that now?
That I applied for.
No,
to be
even
on.
now your first time doing
My
comedy.
first time, so that would be about 6 years ago. Now.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
So you've done, you're way ahead,
Yeah.
But you know what I give credit to is like, I think you guys or the guys out there, or even the females out there who are able to find that time and just get out there and really hit the ground and go running and do different shows, 5-6 days a week and stuff. And it's so challenging, and it takes a lot of energy if people who haven't done it. I mean, because 1 minute you can be in, down in like Mystic doing a 5-minute set at a bar that has 10 people, but then you can go to the Funny Bone and there's 100 people there and stuff.
Yeah.
So it's just you really gotta kind of adjust yourself and adjust your material to the environment that you're in. And I remember seeing a show too. It was a couple of comedians. It was a bar restaurant. It was a little loud and stuff, but I just give the guys credit who were trying to just get the attention of the patrons there in the restaurant and stuff. So, but yeah, this is all leading back to the night. So finally, I saw on Facebook just how a lot of other comedians in the area meet and stuff. There was a guy decided to Jeff Wade, I believe.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, Jeff. Yeah, he wanted to have comics do a show with him, and so I reached out to him, and he set me
does
up.
the comedy at large shows at the Comics
Yeah.
Mohegan.
So I got into that, and it just so happened to be the same time that you were going to be on the same night and stuff. And then I had the big group of co-workers come down. I remember having the next day off. I think it was a Thursday night, and your fiance was one of them. And I just remember after the show, just kind of looking over at you guys, and you two were just like talking away. And then like a half an hour would go by, look over, and you two were still talking away, but maybe 2 or 3 inches closer to each other.
Really?
Yeah. So
I didn't realize the proximity of bodies.
Body language.
Closer.
Yeah, the ongoing word of assessing the situation. But it's I hadn't seen her have stay that focus with a guy for that amount of time. Usually, might talk to somebody for 5 minutes and then you move on to the next person. But she was just pretty much wrapped up with you. So I saw that. And then, as time went on, she let me know. She opened up. I think you were living down in Florida at the time.
I was. I was on a
She actually showed me some of your text messages, which I was dying. It was like the R-rated material. And then when she showed it, she got it all red and blushing. And I'm like, oh, you are a dirty girl. I'm like, oh, I learned something about you. So.
But that's interesting, like the history, the behind the. If you hadn't done that show with Jeff Wade, and I was on Christmas vacation from Florida doing that show with Jeff Wade, I would have never met my fiance.
Exactly. Even pushing back more too. If she didn't just bug me nonstop to say, hey, you should do this, you should do this, you should do this. I do give her credit.
She's almost an enabler of stand-up comedy.
Yeah.
You know how like some people are enablers of like drugs and stuff, and it's like, oh, like I ruined, like I was the person that corrupted that guy to like do drugs or whatever.
Yeah, she was the one.
Andrea's that type of person to corrupt stand-up comedians into a life of comedy.
Yeah, I mean, if her and I were married at the time, we'd be divorced by now because she would push me out the door. I'm like, enough. I just got to get her to shut up. I'll do it, whatever. But even to this day, she's always like, she's a big name dropper, and she's like, I did this and that, and I'm going to go do this show, and I'm going to be your producer and all that. But
you know what? One of my favorite stories, because it's not often I get a chance to talk about my fiance to this extent on the podcast. A story she told me about meeting Tracy Morgan.
Oh, okay.
She said she met Tracy Morgan. He gave her a piece of advice, which was take a shit every morning.
That sounds like Tracy Morgan.
Every morning, it's like, yeah, you'll feel good for the rest of the day as long as you take a shit every morning.
That's true. I remember I sat next to a woman at work for a couple of years, and she was always uptight. And then further discussion, and she just said she was constipated all the time. And I'm like, you gotta fix that. Go do your thing in the morning, and then you feel great.
Well, there's a lot of, and again, I won't name where you work, but there's a lot of people at your place of work. Do you feel comfortable taking a shit at work?
I think being a guy, you have to. I mean, I don't know how these people can just hold it all day.
I don't know. Maybe some people go out
Maybe
to
they're
McDonald's or
constipated.
something to take a shit.
Yeah, isn't it? That's yeah. Go to McDonald's, get chlamydia, and take a shit.
I taught in public high schools for about 3 years.
Yeah.
I never once ever took a shit
No?
at work.
No, not even. Did they have teachers?
Well, it's
bathrooms,
like I either go in the morning or it's like I can wait until 2:00 in the afternoon when I get out of school to go home to take a dump. It's like the schedule of my body never
you know your body Yeah, if I have a morning coffee and stuff, or then if you ever go to Chipotle for lunch, forget it. I'm not making it to 5:30 or something. No.
But that's the thing. I can't at the job I have now. I get out at 6:00, so it's like. Come
You're just
three,
running
three or
home,
four,
speeding.
3 or 4 o'clock. It's like I gotta go now.
Yeah, you just have to. Yeah.
But I don't teach anymore. That's the thing.
That's the difference. Yeah. Yeah, you know what? It's funny. I have a buddy of mine. This guy Sean Doyle, and he lives up in Mass. He's in the film industry and stuff.
Right.
And this guy will take a dump anywhere and anywhere. We had a friend who was incarcerated for a few years, and we would be out in the west of Pennsylvania in a federal prison, and it looked like a scene from a Steven Seagal movie, and it was just oil rigs around, and every freaking action movie ends in some kind of warehouse or just refinery with oil or coal. Look at the Terminator movies or Steven Seagal.
Yeah.
I'm like, where are all these refineries, But this is the kind of neighborhood we're at, and he just had to go in. It was great. It was just one bathroom in the big supervised visitation area, and he had to go. So he goes in, no lock on the door either. We wait a couple minutes, and a woman bringing a little kid, she goes to knock on the door, and we're like, no, don't knock on the door. Go ahead, nobody's in there. So she walks in on him just sitting there with his cheeks out. I'm like, but this guy will go anywhere. This is the same guy too. He's driving up from New York City,
right?
Coming up to actually Western Mass, and he just had to go. And if you, I think he's in the White Plains area and stuff, so he pulled off and he just stopped at the first restaurant. It happened to be an Asian restaurant, and he's like, "Can I use your bathroom?" They're like, "Oh no, you only customers." And he goes, "No, you didn't let me finish." He goes, "I have 12 people coming." He's like, "Can you please set up the tables and stuff? In the meantime, I'll just go use the bathroom." They're like, "How many?" And he's like, 12. So they start setting up the table. He goes, drops his deuce, and he comes out, and they have his table ready. He's like, "Yeah, I don't like this freaking menu. I'm out of here." So he just freaking takes off.
Wow.
I'm like, the work just to go to the bathroom, freaking kills me.
You couldn't have just been like, "Yeah, I'll buy something." He actually has
nothing,
to put these people to work to set up the table.
So,
and everything.
12. Yeah, 12. And where do you come up with just 12? Maybe he needed to buy time. Eight people would have he would have needed another minute. So 12. Have them do the extra work, but. Yeah, it's stuff like that, So you always have those people who just. How did we get on the subject of just where you go take the crap?
Oh, we were talking about Tracy Morgan.
Oh, Tracy Morgan. Yeah. That's funny.
But so back to the night I met my fiance. Yeah. So the rest was history. We just started talking and everything, and now we live together in her home.
That is actually, it's a great story. That's a great story to tell too. Because you guys are engaged. You have a date yet, or around?
Yeah, that's yet to be decided.
This year or
now.
next year, maybe?
Maybe next year.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah, because she's only got 2 more years to retirement, right? No, I'm just. If everybody don't know, there's a little age gap, but well, you know what? A great question, because you're in the same boat as myself. How is it like dating a black woman, and she's Jamaican, so, and you being a white male and stuff, and there's a little age difference too, but.
You're I think it's like there's really not much of a difference in like it's like I feel like you realize that because I've dated black women, I've dated white women. It's like the things that you think would be different are actually the same, but then it's like the things that are different are like completely different than you thought they would be. You know what I mean? Because people are genuinely all the same. We all fucking watch TV.
Yeah,
we all
everybody
fucking go to the bathroom. We
Yeah.
all listen to music. But like, I think the one main difference is like when she makes me aware of my own white privilege.
Yeah, I
And
can
then
see
I'm
her
like,
doing that. Yeah.
and I'm like, shit, you're right.
Yeah,
And then it's
yeah.
like I have to like fucking eat that shit. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah, it's
And I'm pressed to think of an example right now, like specifically.
Yeah.
But I don't know. Has that ever happened to you?
Yeah, I think. Yeah, I can't think of anything offhand, but she even reminds me too about the whole white privilege thing, and there's always the debate: is there truly white privilege or not? I think there is definitely. I think and this is even from different races too. I was helping out this through my job, helping out a Hispanic female, and she didn't want to work with any Hispanic like counselors or therapists. She just wanted somebody white, and I think her story was just that she felt like having a white, she wouldn't be as judged by her own community, and then having somebody in a different race would help guide her and stuff. But even going out in public, I kind of like would watch like how other people would react to if I'm dating a black female. And I've been in a relationship with a Jamaican one, and it's usually always I'd say black males that would do a double take and stuff. That's what I would pick up on most. Like, and then not in my own words, but in her words, it'd be like, oh, they would say like, oh, you're too good enough for a black man. Why are you with a white guy and stuff? So there's all those cliches. But then you know what? You could just turn that into using it for comedy. You could do the whole, hey, it's because we have good credit joke or stuff. Or it's just.
I never
it's an
really
ongoing
noticed any
debate,
of that,
yeah.
but at the same time, it's like I don't really care what other people
Yeah.
think. Especially as a comedian, it's like you can't. It's like that part of you almost doesn't exist. It's like if like
You can't,
the people that like talk shit about you or like anything like that. It's like I never, because it's like I don't know.
Everybody's going to talk crap about some. Yeah.
I think that part of me kind of like disappeared when I was like in high school or something. You know what I mean? Where it's like. Like these people don't like you because they think you're like fucking. Because I was like the class clown, guy that was always like the guy that got invited to the party just because I was like the funny guy.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Because I had like no other redeemable qualities other than that. Because I'm like not good at sports or anything else like that. So like there's plenty of people back then that probably didn't like me.
Yeah,
but
did you really care?
Did I care?
Yeah.
No, because why would I? You know what I mean?
Yeah. I give you a lot of credit because I think when I was younger though, I did kind of care what people thought about me. But now that I got older, I don't give a shit. You like me, you don't like me. Not everybody's gonna like you. And you have to do that with comedy too. You're gonna like my stuff, you don't like my stuff. I think a lot of I'm just like just the simple, basic comedian who does it part-time, when I did. Actually, I haven't done it in 13 months, and the other night was the first time I did it in 13 months, because, I figured I jump on and do it again and stuff, so. But you really just can't care what people say about you. If you sit around in life just worrying about what people think about you, that's it. You're going to be focused on, I shouldn't do this because I'm going to be judged.
Well, here's something that's interesting, that even though I don't care what people think about me,
yeah.
Andrea cares about what people think of me.
Yeah.
Right? So the show that I did, your show, was a bigger deal to her than any other show that I've been on, and which is like
you wonder why.
It's funny to me because it's like it's at a it's a smaller venue, like.
Yeah.
It's like no one's gonna remember this other than, but it's the fact that people that she works with,
Yeah.
it's her group, you know.
She almost needs that approval of others, coworkers, about you. You know. Yeah, I know. I can understand where she's coming from that, but
she almost wanted me to be off the show. She was like, said like, I'm gonna get you like kicked off the show if I was like annoying.
Oh,
her
she did. She
like,
was texting me the day before too.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I'm like, no, stop. Leave it. Stop being so controlling. Yeah, it's her own little anxiety for you. It's funny though. She's probably like your protector. She just wants to protect you and stuff. So, but that's funny.
It can be annoying though. It's like she's like, get a haircut or like you're not gonna be on this show, and I'm like,
you're like, really?
Yeah. Like I don't know. Like first of all, I'm gonna do the show whether it's like it's not your decision. First of all.
Yeah, and you know what I mean? And I spoke to a lot of people afterwards too, and they loved your stuff too. They loved your stuff. They loved give out shout out to Cliff Mula and Paul Gregory and Jeff DeCaro and stuff. So.
How did you meet those guys, anyways? Cliff Mula, Paul Gregory.
I met Cliff, just seeing him around, and I know he would hang out with, I think it's Marcus Green, is it?
Yeah. Maurice Green.
Maurice, I'm sorry, Maurice Green. Yeah, which, great guy and stuff. And John Carlo. And
have you seen their video, by the way, where it's...
I know Cliff makes all these videos.
It's Cliff and another guy. I forget who the other guy is, but they're like get pulled over by the cops. Maurice plays one of the cops.
Oh no!
And they're like, we gotta pretend to be gay. We won't get arrested. And it is like the funniest. You gotta check that out. It's really
I give those guys. I mean, a lot of credit. And I know Cliff's a little, younger and stuff, but he's been doing it for a few years and stuff. So. But I'm glad, he came out to the show. And I think I met him at the Funny Bone. Paul Gregory, too, I met him at the Funny Bone. I think it's certain jokes that made me remind,
I think Paul is very similar to you, and that's why I'm like, okay, I get, like, just from listening to you, like, talk, what you were saying earlier about, like, the speaker, like, the woman in the woods with the speaker. It's like, that's kind of similar to Paul's humor, I feel like, because it's like,
maybe like, you think it's an age thing, or I don't know.
Well, it's like, I feel like guys that are your age, like a lot of their humor revolves around shit that annoys you about like millennials, like annoying you about like what they do, because it's like you're already set in your ways about how you do things, and it's like this new era is kind of taken over. Yeah, you know what I mean?
Like, my dream is just to see all technology break down for a week and see all the millennials just, like, flip out and stuff,
Yeah.
Just, like, can't look at their phone. What do they do,
Do you ever think about, like, taking your two sons camping out in the woods for a week?
Oh, yeah.
Just to, like, get them, like...
Yeah, actually, they want to do, like, they both want to do some traveling and stuff, so... they want to go off the grid and stuff, so, yeah, definitely. I think the younger one would have a problem with that, but the older one would be good about it and stuff.
Right.
But even the only one I didn't. Yeah, Paul told this joke too about how he was. It just killed me because I could relate how he went. He was going to go back to school and college, and there was like a millennial young girl saying, "Oh, are you filling this out for your daughter?" And he's like, "No, it's for freaking me," And it's he's like, and she's like, "Oh, and it kind of almost. Show that humor about, like, if you're a certain age, you can't go back to college and stuff. So he had a whole bit about that, which I was dying about. And then Jeff DeCaro, he's an interesting character. I like him just because he made me laugh. And he told me this joke about just how...
you met him at Bishop's, or did you
No, I had met him at the Funny Bone, and I just thought he started off around the same time as I did. And he was... His first set I saw him do, he just kept repeating himself about if he did a joke and it bombed, he says, I'm Jeff DeCaro, I'm from so-and-so, and he just kept repeating it. And it just got funnier as he went on. But he told his joke, and not many of the women like it, but I thought it was killer. Like, when he was, he said he went in the Walmart bathroom, and he was sitting in the stall, and the guy next to him was just, like, grunting and making all kinds of noise and stuff, and he finally just pounded on the guy on the wall, and he's like, "Sir, can you be quiet? I can't finish jerking off." So I'm just like, the way he did it, I'm like, that's perfect Walmart humor, So he had little subtle ones like that I'm like, oh, that's good, Jeff. So, and I think a lot of it out there, and there's a lot of these guys have been, out there doing it and hitting the grind where I'll just do random stuff. And because I'm not trying to make a career out of it, I'm just doing it for fun and stuff. But to just give the other guys support and encourage them, And
I think the fact that you put together your own shows like that is
because I think there's a lot of
definitely a leg up.
Yeah, but there's what it is this, and I wish Connecticut people would get on board about it though. There's a lot of great comics in Connecticut, There's a lot of great comics in Mass. Where I'm originally from Mass, but there's great comics in Connecticut, and I just want like the general public to know. It's so hard, I think, being a starting comedian in Connecticut because you're gonna look at Mohegan, comics. So you're gonna look at Foxwoods, all the big places, and everything else. There's the Funny Bone, or there's other little comedy venues that just other comedians know about, or you got to drag your friends to. So if there it could be some kind of like,
something I often think like Connecticut comedians can be overlooked, but it's like, let's say you're watching the Yankees. I know you're a Red Sox fan. Yeah. But like, if you ever look at the advertising behind home plate, when they're at bat, it says Mohegan Sun.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Where it's like, well, all these New Yorkers are just looking at this spot like this is like this great spot. It's like when I do stand up at Mohegan Sun, I often think of that where it's like I am performing for a lot of like New Yorkers and shit like that.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, you've been down to like outside of the city though, right? And doing like.
Oh yeah, of course. I've done a lot of clubs down in New York.
Yeah, and there's a lot more. I think a lot more clubs. Actually, down there and stuff. I just think Connecticut. It's just we're missing a valuable piece of. Everybody wants to go to Boston or New York or Mohegan, or the casinos and stuff.
Right.
And even the MGM up in Springfield, they opened up that Roar.
Right.
They have a
I haven't even been up there yet.
No, I haven't seen that. I know which building it is, and it's actually a pretty cool building. But
there's something about how crowded that casino is. Like, it makes me not want to go there.
Yeah. It's
even though it's like 20 minutes away from here.
Yeah,
it's like,
and I'm 10 minutes away from it too, and I've only been twice.
I want to wait for it to be like open for like a couple of years to like.
Yeah, I heard yesterday that they were thinking about selling it. MGM, they were thinking. Somebody had told me, I don't know how much truth it is, but it was on Mass Live too, that was talk maybe possible. I think Foxwoods and Mohegan Sun formed a company together. I think it's like Twin Winds or something. They were going to open up that casino in East Windsor. And there's talk about maybe them buying MGM or something like that. So, but give it a couple years. And
well, I'm sure our country is going to be just filled with casinos now that Trump's in the White House. I'm surprised there's not slot machines in the White House right now.
Yeah, from the guy who's Taj Mahal went bankrupt, down in New Jersey. You ever been down there in New Jersey?
No.
No? It's a trip, all right. It's cool. It's unique. It's got a lot of the old school like Frank Sinatra vibe and stuff, But I don't know. It's just then you got like massive stuff. Like I was there a few years ago and I went into Taj Mahal, but it felt very just run down,
Right.
Yeah, but yeah, just going back with Connecticut, I think Connecticut has to do a lot more for comics, or I don't know how you would get it out there, but there's so many different streams of social media now. But after the show we did the other night at Matty D's in Hartford was he asked to do it again monthly. So next month we're going to do another show. Yeah,
so shout out to Matty D's. I thought it was a great show, and I thought it was like for a show that's like in a bar type restaurant type deal. Definitely a very attentive crowd, and like it's the perfect setup too, because it's like if the people at the bar don't want to pay attention to the show, which is how it is a lot of the times, where it's like they won't be distracted because there's a big barrier between the bar and the showroom.
I don't know if you saw it on stage though. When you guys were on stage though, there was people at the bar looking through the glass at the comedians because they had speakers over there. And it was funny. It was almost like you're in prison visiting somebody, and they're looking through the glass laughing. Right? I'm like, pick up the phone, to listen to the show. But no, and I talked to a lot of people afterwards, and they all had a good time and stuff. So I was glad it turned out well. And that night was kind of a little off the hook because we had the other guy, Colin James. Damn you, Colin. He had canceled last minute, and then Giancarlo had another gig and stuff. But I'm glad the four of you guys stepped up, and I had done some stuff and tried to fill in some material and stuff. But your turtle's making noise. Yeah.
He wants to escape.
Go, yeah,
It's like
you're
just
teasing him.
Just gotta let him.
You're giving him a view of the outside, so that's like.
Well, I also turned this tank around today because see how the back of the tank is black?
Yeah.
It's like it was like dark in here for him. Like it's like he's not even getting any sunlight. So I turned it to the side so he gets some sunlight.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Whose record player is that?
Oh, that one?
Yeah.
That one was Andrea's.
Oh,
I put mine in right here. This
that's
one's
the
mine
see.
right
That's
here.
yeah. See.
Because my one's like an all-in-one.
Yours is all-in-one with the CD. Hers is the old school. See, I have an old school one like that too, but I just need to get speakers for it.
Yeah. But back to the show about
Yeah.
You're doing another show at Matty D. Who do you think you're gonna have on?
I don't
this
know.
one?
I think I'll send it out an ad. I'll send it out again to some comics, and I talked to him. I'd like to actually. It's I'm gonna give Andrea credit for this, but she said trying to do an all-female comedy night and stuff. So I'd like to try to see if we can do that maybe in July.
That way she doesn't have to deal with me being on it.
There you go, right? Yeah, you can just stay in the audience. We can call it the Me Too movement comedy night or something. I'm trying to see when the day.
I'm a
20th,
firm believer that the female comedy night shouldn't be run by a man, though.
No, you think maybe she can run it? Maybe we'll talk to her and run it. Maybe better yet, yeah, we can have her reach out to females.
Yeah. But would she host it? She would even pick the host.
She's a big talker, so let's see if she can pull it through, right?
I was after you let her be the DJ that night, right?
Yeah.
And would you say yay or nay on doing that?
Yeah, no, I gave her credit. I said, yeah, she. I think it's something we can definitely do in between acts, but. It's funny. She was rusty, but she was doing it. She did well.
If you want to talk about somebody being like Max Weinberg during my stand-up act,
yeah,
I would say her more so than the Turtle.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like, because I would do a joke, like, it would get a laugh, but then you would turn and look at her,
and she gives
like,
you that look.
She's just giving me the look, the Max Weinberg look.
Yeah.
Right? I said to her that night, I was like, you know what? I kind of like you as the DJ, me as the comic. Like
that's a whole bit for you guys.
We should do a show where it's like I take bits of my podcast, animate the bits from the podcast, and it would be like have it on like a projector, and we go back and forth from me, doing stand up, you as the DJ, and then animate. And then she was like, I don't know, she didn't seem to get it. She didn't seem to be on board with that.
Maybe you have to visually do it for her, Maybe she's a visual person.
I have to sit down and do the hours and hours of animating before she
agrees to it. And where is she now? Working?
She's working right now.
She works too much. She's a true Jamaican. She works too much.
I work a lot too, but I end up snapping when I work too much.
Oh, do you?
Yeah.
Yeah, I always tell her, like, you gotta slow it down, start enjoying life and stuff, It's like I could have worked yesterday, today, or tomorrow, but I'm like, no, it's too nice. I'm just. I
ended up calling out of work last night because I feel like I've been working too hard
at the pond.
And then she asked me if I wanted to go to a comedy show with her and I'm like, nah, I just want to sleep.
Chill, yeah.
I need sleep. Like I haven't gotten any in a long time.
She has an apartment down at the at Mohegan, right? She's down there so much. It could be the most random time. It's like a Wednesday at 7. I'm like, hey, what you doing? She's like, Mohegan. I'm at Mohegan, If you walk in there with her, she's just waving to everybody. Even the cleaning crew knows her,
Oh, yeah. Definitely.
Yeah, she's down there a lot. And I remember one time I was down there, too, and she told me 3 different machines to go to and describe them and where to go. You know what's funny? I think I hit on all 3 of those machines, too.
Yeah?
Yeah, so.
She knows the good ones.
She does. Yeah, but can't tell her she was right, because when she's right, she gives you that look, like, I told you,
And then it's just like, I never said you were
Oh,
wrong.
yeah. All right, you get the credit. Get the credit.
All right. We got like 10 more minutes left on the podcast. What else you want? I got. What do you think? You think you were a funny kid growing up?
No, shy kid. I'll tell you what. I grew up in an Irish Catholic household. My father's from Ireland.
Right.
But still got the brogue and everything, you know.
Right.
There's 5 of us kids. I'm right in the middle, forgotten child. I got one sister who's the oldest and stuff. So, I was really heavy set in high school and stuff. So I just really was the whole like insecure, typical, blah blah blah. You hear from everybody when I had low self-esteem and stuff. But I think I had lost all this weight, and when I got into college, I just started stepping outside of my shell more and stuff. So
right.
So I think it was for me a slow progression and stuff as time went on. And to this day now, like I'll speak in front of our staff meeting, and I'll do some, even in our staff meeting, they'll talk about serious stuff, and then I'll lighten it up a little and try to do some in-house comedy, about.
Right.
I recently did a banquet actually last month at the old G Fox building in downtown Hartford for the greater area, Hartford area of like adoptive and foster parents. So I did. I was emceed that night, and it was a good crowd. There's a lot of married couples out there, and I did a lot of G-rated humor, of course. So, but I got great responses, which was always nice to hear.
Do you find it hard to do clean material ever? Or?
Yeah, you could. It's as simple as you really like. You can't even do any kind of like sexualized humor, or you can slip with a swear. If you think ass and shit is like one of the lower level swears, but you can't even say stuff like that. So
I just had a thought. Don't you think that it's ridiculous how politically correct people are being now? Being that if you look back on like the history of comedy, right?
Yeah.
That the only person to be completely politically correct, was who?
Don Rickles? No. No.
Bill Cosby, right?
Yeah. Now look, where's he at now?
Well, yeah. Look where he's at now.
Yeah.
So it's like, is political correctness really even a good thing when you think about it?
No, it's not. Because exactly. Look at him. I was at actually, it's funny. I was at like last year. I was driving by. I went to a tag sale, and I like getting old albums, original albums, And there was a Bill Cosby comedy album from like.
Oh, so that's why your eyes keep darting around this room.
Yeah,
Look at all these fucking albums.
Yeah.
I got some Bill Cosby albums myself still.
And I'm like, this is great because the irony is here. It's 2019. He's in prison serving 3 years, and and he would always get on other black comedians about their humor.
He even
and stuff,
said to Eddie Murphy, it's like it tried to police what he was doing on stage. When it's like, dude, it's like you got more skeletons in your closet than anybody. It's like the irony of it looking back on it. You know what I mean?
And Richard Pryor used to just say, you know what, Eddie, tell Bill, fuck off. Which is great. And then here we are. And then you just find out all this crap with Bill Cosby and stuff. So, the political.
Well, I was actually watching, and here's to circle back to being a white guy dating a black girl.
Yeah.
We were watching that show sitcom Different World.
Yeah.
A few weeks ago, and I said to Andrea, to her, like, don't you think that do you feel like that it's that Cosby, being exposed for all this shit, like, do you feel like it set black people back at all? Because it's like he was like this person that set up this like world of educated black people on television. Like, not only his show was he a doctor, but the spin-off show that he also produced was about black people in college and everything. So it's like he was kind of like the person to just portray, okay, black people can do this. They can be educated. And like the first person to really portray that on television. Yeah. Where it's like, do you feel? And then she was like, no. She like, I don't know. Like I feel like that I'm different though. I'm different than her in the sense where it's like I'll put comedians on a pedestal. You know what I mean? Yeah. Because it's like that's what I do and that's what I want to do. Yeah. But I don't think she looks at it the same way. You know what I mean?
Bill Cosby's like the Dr. Jekyll, Mr. Hyde, huh? He mean just.
Oh, that's you know what? I never really looked at it that way.
Yeah. I think think about it. Yeah.
Dr. Cliff Huxtable was his Dr. Jekyll.
Yeah, and then and then he's always then you hear all the stories from Hugh Hefner with him at the Playboy Mansion all the years.
I never understood why they were the Huxtables on the show, but the show's called The Cosby Show. That never made any sense to me.
That's what I never even just thought of that.
Yeah. Like, how could you call it The Cosby Show? No, it's about Cosby, but you're not Cosby on the show.
Cosby, and I think we get it. We know who you are, Bill Cosby, and then you have the Huxtables.
How could you be any more self-righteous? Like,
no, it's like
the name of the show has nothing to do with the show.
That's like Seinfeld, though, right? Was he?
His name's Seinfeld on the show.
Yeah. I'm trying to think now. Recall of any other shows that were like that.
Drew Carey. His name's Drew Carey on the show. It's like
but no, the Huxtables. And how do you come up with the term the Huxtables? The Huxtables. But yeah, how many more minutes we got here?
We got like 5 more minutes.
No.
Is there anything you want to promote coming up?
No, I would just say I would promote all the Connecticut comedians. Actually, I would promote like doing a show at June 20th, Thursday night at Matty D's. Try to come down to Matty D's, a local spot. It's a funny spot because it's like in the middle of a residential neighborhood.
So that's when the next one is, June 20th?
Yeah, he wants to do Thursday nights, and that was his first time doing it. So let's try it again.
That's the first time stand-up comedy's ever been in there.
Yeah,
it's a perfect room for stand-up.
It is. I like that little stage they have, and it's like inside. Like I like the inside. It's it's set up nice. It's not like a run-down, dirty dive bars, which I love and stuff. You don't have to walk around, and how you go to a dive bar and the floor is sticky, kind of like a one of those old viewing rooms, like pornography rooms, like back in the day and stuff. But yeah, it's a nice spot, good food, great bartenders and stuff. And they got the outside patio and stuff. So
the bartender there was very sweet because it was like the waitress that served me my first drink.
Yeah.
And then I moved over to the bar. I'm trying to figure out how I can tip the bartender and the waitress. Yeah. Because it's like they didn't really have a specific tat.
Yeah.
And she's like, oh, what waitress got you the drink? And I'm like, oh, it's like the girl that she kind of looks like. It's just like, oh, that's my daughter.
Yeah,
so I didn't realize it was a mother and daughter working there together.
Oh, that's together. So funny, yeah. Because even the bartenders look pretty. They didn't look like they had daughters that age,
They didn't look like they should be bartending in that neighborhood.
Right?
I was picturing when I was walking through the neighborhood, I was picturing people with missing teeth.
No, that's down the road a little more.
But it's actually a really nice place. Yeah.
Yeah, definitely go down there.
Right across the street from a middle school.
Yeah. And it was funny the day we were there. Just so happened to be a fireman. It's a big fireman hangout too, and some of the Hartford PD and stuff too. So, yeah, and then any other promotion, I would say just get out there and see the Connecticut comics. Support your local community. You don't have to drive all the way to Mohegan Sun and spend so much money on a ticket and stuff. So,
yeah,
definitely check out wherever you got to go, social media, and look at all the local spots and stuff. So. You doing any upcoming shows yourself?
Upcoming shows, I'm doing. I got nothing I want to promote. I'm doing the casino next month. I forget what the specific day is. But I got nothing I want to promote right now. No. I usually do that in a monologue, anyways.
Oh, do you? Okay, yeah. Oh, good.
All right. Well, I guess that pretty much wraps it up then.
All right, perfect. Yeah. Thanks for having me as a guest. I appreciate it.
Thank you for being on the show, man.
Yes, anytime, man.
I did have one question. There's because your name's Mike Walsh.
Yeah.
There's another comedian named Joe Walsh.
Is there?
Not to be confused with the.
I didn't know that. Yeah.
Not to be confused with the guitarist from the Eagles there. But
there is no one. Oh, okay.
Yeah.
No, if you like the Goonies, the movie.
Yeah.
Okay. Lead character in it, named Mike Walsh. So. I just think it's funny when people don't realize that, and then I
ever noticed that.
Yeah, they're the Walshes and stuff. So that's my distant cousin. So I get to see Sloth around. Yeah.
Hey, you guys.
All right, guys. Thank you.
All right.